Hello everyone, here is the video of Shredder's Big Show. Afghanistan comes from Mongolian. Korean for uncle. And Dong belongs to Genghis Khan. Second son Belgian T anti-Korea. And the fourth son of Ilhan of the sequence of Tor, leader of the country. We're talking about Genghis Khan. Before the first Western expedition. Let's take a brief look first. The Mongol army led by Genghis Khan. How fierce is it? In the eyes of the ancient world, the Mongol army is fierce. Unstoppable army of beasts. This army has a strong desire for a way out, not for death. They live only for anger, also died of anger. They are Mongolia in human form. Mongolian Aoquin is the ancestor of all Aoquin, has an unyielding personality. It is the light of longevity on the grassland. They are only loyal to their masters, but it is very tyrannical to the enemy, brutal. Even if you fight until the last moment of your life, it is also to tear the enemy to shreds. This is why the Mongol army was able to sweep across Asia and Europe. Invincible. Created the version of human history. The main reasons for the largest empire. Afghanistan before the Mongol cavalry. Chibi under the ash, which used to be a wax submold of a powerful country in Central Asia. At that time, the flower wax submodel national unprecedented wall. The area of cloud and soil reaches 3.60 million square kilometers. It covers Afghanistan today. Iran and Iraq wait for fathers, King Momo Sultan, and the ambition to invade Mongolia. To explore the true strength of Mongolia, the Sultan of Mohainmo sent a mission. Sent to Mongolia to spy on intelligence. Genghis Khan at that time, hope and flower wax submold, establish friendly business relations. When he received the mission, it also expresses the peaceful coexistence of the two countries, willingness to trade differently. The two countries subsequently concluded commercial relations. But not 3 years later, the two countries broke out. After the war, the Mongolian army was like a tornado. Destroyed the Hanazimo. The war broke out in 1219. History claims that mangoes were first introduced. In 1216, Genghis Khan had unified the various ministries of Mongolia and slaughtered gold and Liao on a large scale. Failed to achieve the purpose of the outer suburbs attack. Genghis Khan. Send one. A large group of 500 mainly Muslim traders. Commercial mission. Carry a lot of gold and silver jewelry. Yungui goods. Go to flower wax Saibo. Friendship and commerce. Heading in the white tiger's palm. Over the dunes, it's at Allah City. Oops, longevity. Finally, I've arrived at a place where I can do business. Yes, can be used as a merchant group to the border city of Wallazimo. Hirhan, the city's top official, but the Inali tree just rose up. I want to take this wealth for myself. I can't believe it. I'm afraid I'll give you the whole insurance. You can't exchange these treasures, can you? Hey haha, detained the syndicate, and framed the merchant group as a spy sent by Genghis Khan, then pulled to the execution ground and beheaded all. Nali tree. And engulfed that wealth. So here's the thing. A Mongolian captain guarding a merchant ship. Get away with it. Kill hundreds of emissaries without indiscriminately asking. Is a very serious diplomatic incident. The seemingly stupid behavior of the Italian tree. I was shocked. Some people advocate apologizing to Mongolia. Others say the murderer should be punished and handed over. The children shouted. He did. His protagonist is 500 Mongolian sword spies. The peace caravan that killed 500 people. Is any. A dignified country will not tolerate. We should send someone to explain it to them right away. But the Inali tree is the mother of the Sultan of Motormo, nephew of the Empress Dowager Turhan, and the Italian tree is also after killing people. Offer a lot of treasures to the Queen Mother in time. Babe? If there is a nursery calling the Queen Mother, she will look down on the Mongols. It's the Mongols who drink blood for the Manchus. Think. Killing a few savages is no big deal, so he put it to rest. Queen Mother Torhan, daughter of Chief Kangli Jingta, is the representative of the Kangli military force. Power. Likes to interfere in government affairs. Sultan Mahamo is the king of a country. I dare not speak lightly against his decision. But the Queen Mother Tolhan could never have imagined his cover-up. Not only did it bring death to the greedy nephew, it also brought disaster to its own country. The 100 long distance who got away with it ran back to Mongolia. I cried to Genghis Khan about the incident. Genghis Khan was furious. After 3 days and 3 nights of worship for the merchant group. Top 5 Muslim messengers on the right to Khalzimo. Ask Sultan Mohemo why he is treacherous. And ask the murderer for answering music. But the Sultan of Motormo is tough. Not only refused to surrender, instead, he also killed 3 official historians. The remaining 2 lieutenants were also shaved. Deportation. For Muslims, it's a disgrace to be shaved off. The 2 lieutenants returned to Mongolia full of resentment, denouncing Genghis Khan for the evil deeds of the devil and the Sultan of Mexico. When the map merchant group came, aroused the anger of the Mongols towards Khalzimo. It also became a pretext for Genghis Khan's crusade. After the fabrics Iliao become, Gishan spent a year fully prepared. In 1219, the Qing army began the first western expedition. In fact, Mongolia has had a confrontation with this model before. In 1216, the Mongol Han dynasty, Subutai, one of the Foreos of Genghis Khan, lead the army to hunt down the remnants of the Myr-Kilian company. On Desheng's way back to the division, the number of troops is located within oneself. The chili grinding army led by the Sultan of Mo. Close encounters. Mo Sultan came prepared to see. This has 2 purposes. One is robbery. The second is to test the combat effectiveness of the Mongolian army. Although Subutai has repeatedly stated, Genghis Khan ordered to go to war with the Waxink. I hope there will be no conflict between the 2 sides. But the Sultan of Momo was arrogant. Don't take the Mongols seriously at all. I don't listen to the explanation of the speed. Direct attack. You can start now. Never was forced to fight. Very passive at first. But the Mongol army was a battle-hardened warrior. The Beast Army, whether it is a campaign or a tactic. Far more than the Wax self-grinding army. Soon the tide of the war turned. The Mongol army embarked on a unilateral massacre. The Purple Devil is defeated. Thousands of casualties. The Sultan of Mamo himself was almost arrested. Fortunately, the eldest son Zalandin sacrificed his life to save him. To escape. And Subutai has no intention of fighting. Evacuate at night. The cold-blooded sweat of the Mongol army in this battle. Not only did it hit the Sultan of Mokomo hard, growing self-confidence, scenes of bloodshed, it also left a huge psychological shadow on him. For some time thereafter, Sultan of Mohemo, often dream of Mongol cavalry suddenly entering the palace, raised the butcher knife to him. It's a pity that the powerful Queen Mother Tolhan can't understand how he feels. The attitude towards Mongolia is still arrogant and paranoid. Get ready for war. Dutuman has been beaten to pieces by you. Now the honor of conquering the Mongols awaits you. Go ahead. 1219, Genghis Khan, who has been preparing for a whole year. Innocent's army embarked on the journey of crusade against Khalzimo. When the Sultan of Mahama learned it. When Genghis Khan came to crusade, there is a sense of not fighting. Spy for 100,000 army, but dare not fight the enemy head-on. Instead, take the old city to store grain. Divide troops. Permission defense. A misguided strategy designed to consume the enemy. When distributing troops. Worried about cousin Ignali. Will be the first to attack for massacring the Mongol cartel. Therefore, on the basis of the original women defenders of Adara city. And send Harachakan to lead 10,000 defense. They 110,000 defend the new capital, Samarkand. Send 100,000 guard Torhan, the old city where the Empress Dowager is located. The rest of the troops are scattered in other city fortresses. His Highness Hirhan. His Majesty the Sultan has expressly stated, the war began with His Highness Khan. Your forehead is bound to bear the brunt. His Majesty the Sultan sent Harachahan to lead his army 10,000. Assist Hirhan in defending Edrican. Send me. Please take care of yourself. Due to the intense internal struggle of the wax submembrane, 2 letter from all parties. The feudal masters all have their own small plans. When the army comes down, all huddled in their respective cities, can't hold on. Not helping each other. This caused the Mongol army to plant in the city and break it down. ultimately thorough, destroyed this once proud Central Asian huge empire, did not take the property seized from the Mongolian caravan. Give me a black copper drop. Now the Mongols are coming. Why, let me settle the bill for him. This is the will of the Sultan and the Queen Mother. Are you trying to resist disrespect? Genghis Khan led his army over the Altai Mountains, after losing Bari, crossing the Ili River, Qinghai pressure, road building in the mountains along the way, bridge repair and contact with water. There are other shortages along the way. When entering the paraffin submold, the army is nearly 200,000, after months of running, direct to the lower city of Adara. Then Genghis Khan made for colorful roads. The first route army consists of Sizi Shagadai, led by Sanzi Tukatoi, attacked the city of Adara. The second route army was led by the eldest son, Shuju. Up north, take up land and raise flags in the lower Shell River. The third army emerged from the Alamelis, led by the third general of Tuhai, down south to attack the Fennec embryo in the upper reaches of the Seer River, Hehusing city. The fourth route army is the main force, by Genghis Khan. Young son tour parentage. Only take flour wax. The capital city of Samarkand, it was supposed to take more than a year for luck to reach the Mongol army in Wallazimo, but suddenly appeared under the city of Odala. Higher Yenel tree on the back of the city head. Look at Chengmen. The Mongol army cannot be seen at a glance. I couldn't believe my eyes. Halachatan assisting in defense. It was also a scene of killing. Frightened. Are the Mongol soldiers really here? Are you mistaken? Just look at the horses they ride. They're not riding horses, they're riding eagles. How did it come so fast? Is the city gate closed? It's closed, I just remembered now. I'm afraid the Mongols are already standing on the street. Who would have thought they would come so soon? Did they fall from the sky? Killed 500 Mongolian merchants. But 500,000 enemy. That's what you did. I killed the Mongol army. Department. Go and explain it to Chenisihin yourself. September 12-19. The First Army at Chenatai. Under the command of Ogutai, he began to attack Adalang, and was ordered to capture the Anale tree alive. The city wall of Adara takes into account food sufficiency. At first, the residents of the city tried their best to defend the city. But after being besieged for 5 months, military and civilian morale began to decline. Haratsakan. There is also a conflict with the Ignatius tree. Haratsakan has no intention of fighting again. Want to surrender. Yunali Shuyan was the culprit in the murder of the Mongolian merchant group. So there is no escape, threatened to fight to the death. Haratsakan. I wanted to take my team and secretly abandon it to break through the siege. But as soon as he rushed out of the city gate, he was intercepted by the Mongol army. Haratsakan was also slashed to death in the melee. The Mongol army is like a tide. Anti-killing ban outside the city. The Italian tree was destroyed and retreated to the inner city. After the Mongol army captured the outer city of Adara. Lot. A month later, the inner city also fell. Remnant defenders. The Italian tree was caught in the fire. The Mongol army was formed in the details. Move the goose to the ground, then press the Italian tree. Local craftsmen who rushed to Lulia. And the strong men who fell into Hashar. Dating with Genghis Khan's main force. Assist in the attack on Samarkand. After Samarkand was captured. To avenge the Mongol merchants and emissaries, Genghis Khan ordered the creation of the Anali tree. A makeshift corner in the center of the city. Shape home. Public. Pour a melted leaf into his eyes and ears. The Anali tree was scalded to death in its cries of pain. Want. You don't know the building materials uprising. Are you open to money? Then I'll put water in your eyes. Ah. Ha ha ha. You were so powerful when you hurt us. When you robbed our jewelry silk. But with eyes open. Sultan of Mokmo. The Sultan of Mokmo was also captured. Okay. Ah. Such a brutal person only has one life. Hire Han's body out to feed the dogs. An army. Passing through the Black City of Signal on the Hill River, several rebukes have been appointed as the messenger by Hassan Naruto of Moses. Go to persuade surrender. Hassan was an Indian business person. Always follow Genghis Khan. Deeply trusted by Genghis Khan, after Hassan entered the city, on the way to lead the city lord, he started persuading people to surrender on the street. As a result, he was beaten to death by the Muslim people in the city. Get this news and drive away. Don't listen to his nonsense. Kill the Islamic police station. Kill the angry Mongol army. Attacking signal Black City around the clock. Broken in 7 days. To report to the monk. Joe ordered the massacre several times. Men and women. Young and old. Kill all. Not a single one. After the massacre, the army continued to attack along the Hill River. Coastal cities. Soldiers occupy the city. Due to the bloodbath of Higna Black City, it acted as a deterrent. Many cities have surrendered without a fight. April 1220. Occupy the city defense general. He also deserted the city before the Mongol army arrived. The residents of the city are leaderless. Several reprimands sent messengers to the occupied city first. Advise the residents of the city. When the Mongol army advanced into the city, the people in the city did not offer any resistance due to Winshin's army, count to forgive everyone. Then they drove the people out of the city. The army is rampant in the city, and died at the same time. Yushi sent another army. Also captured Yongjigin. After several troops swept the lower Hill River, start marching into the grasslands, by Arahi, the third army led by the 3 men of Shugarton Tohai. Down south, first capture Hill and the Black City of Fennec upstream. Frederick's Sky City doctrine is a little worse, leading a team of Turks. A garrison formed with the Kangli people, fighting with the Mongol army for 3 days. Heavy casualties. On the 4th day, perseverance without fighting spirit destroyed Li for Gugu. The raid is unknown. But the Mongol army had no mercy, behead all the Xiangjun. City residents, except for some who became slaves to the Mongols, artisans go with the army. Strong men are incorporated into Hashar. Served as cannon fodder for the Mongol army. Kill the rest. After capturing Fennec Black City, the third army rushed to Samarkand. Join forces with the main force. Genghis Khan after the meeting, he also ordered the 3rd Root Army to join forces with the 1st Root Army. Advance to the next target. Hunjin. The city is located in the middle of the Hill River, surrounded by water. Overall tall and sturdy. Thousands of defenders in the city. The general defending the city is the fallen prince of the Khedon state. Ironwood kills plums. Although there are good battles in the iron fungus noodles, but they were afraid of the Mongols. When the Mongol army was approaching, Heaven's eyes are destroyed, afraid that I can't hold hands. He led his men down the river by boat at night, run into the city, Mongolian army all the way cervical spine, and send a fast rider. Halfway through the Baltic letter, he was successfully stopped with the Fujo shooting staff. At the end of the day, they abandoned the ship and went ashore. Fight with the Mongol army that arrived immediately. Soon postmortem to destroy Li and wipe out the whole army. He was able to get out under the protection of his own sister. Escape to the old capital Yulong. The 4th Root Army led by Genghis Khan. Prosecution Army of Buwana. Siege cities along the way. There are also many cities open to the public. As usual, the Mongol army sacked every city, but the strong don't kill. Rebel Pure Land, and send Mongolian officials to manage the city. February 1220. Genghis Khan's army was led by a local guide. Shortcut, the divine weapon appeared under Fuala city like a general. There are 20,000 defenders in Buwala city, but the city guard General Hakan. The sudden appearance of the Mongol army. Frightened to death. In a hurry, take your relatives and follow them. Abandon the city. But on the banks of the Amu River, the Mongol army that was chased up was exhausted. Day 2. The principal without wax is out of the city. Please surrender. He said the Mongol army was irresistible. Genghis Khan's army enters the outer city of Buwala. The remaining defenders who did not escape retreated into the inner city. Then the Mongol army launched an offensive. After 12 days of fighting, Huakan killed tens of thousands of people in the inner city barracks. After the occupation of Bukhara, The Mongolian army tied the knot during the day. Drink and sing at night. He also ordered the Sinjar to dance for them. Those principals and aristocrats who used to make a fortune. Serve them like slaves. The significance of fairness without wax lies in, can completely cut off the new capital, Samarkand, and the connection between the old capital Jade Dragon Festival. Share as envisioned by the Sultan of Mokomo. The river defense will be vulnerable. The entire hinterland of the river are exposed to the iron hooves of Genghis Khan. The Mongol army is ready to advance into Samar, then Genghis Khan ordered. Except for mosques and palaces. The rest are all destroyed. After destroying the wax, Genghis Khan lead the army to Savardan, the purple magic capital city. For attacking Samarkand, Genghis Khan, using Motormo Sultan, and the Queen Mother Turhan, successfully built this mother and son. When Genghis Khan rebelled, Empress Dowager Thorkhan, whom Sogdian scolded Ulongji. The arrival of the Mongol army. The intention was not to fight him, but with his son, the Sultan of Mokomad, who humiliated the Mongols, went to war. It is also recommended that the two countries establish friendship and promise to mold the flower wax sub-mold. Comrade of Hulaushan Exchange Journal. Although the disciple called the Queen Mother, he did not reply to his father. But not a single soldier attacked the Mongol army from behind. Let Genghis Khan attack Samarkand. No worries, this shows that Queen Mother Turhan, the depths of the brothel with the sons of Mo and Mo Sultan, too far exceed the love of mother and son. May 1220. Genghis Khan's army arrives at the city of Samarkand. The fearful Moskin, already with his eldest son Zalanbin, second son Vas, blocks the city. After learning that the Sultan Motormo had escaped, Genghis Khan's life is folded and cannot be lifted. Full pursuit. While sending Arahina and Yasal, advanced to Wahaji and Tarahan respectively, to capture the long river platform of Inara. Wapotai led the army to meet. The strength of Genghis Khan's main army has greatly increased. The engineering station has just begun. Samarkand dispatched thousands of cavalry, challenged the Mongol army. The Mongolian army and people greeted each other with cavalry. And take a side fight. Way to step back. Put this hand in the concave ring of the cavalry right to the cross. And then there were no soldiers. Quanching rebellion army. No survivors. Empty city station day 2. Samarkand defenders drive the elephants to fail again. Combat. As a result, it was welded into the Mongol army and disrupted the position. Elephants wounded by arrows may turn back, or run around in a queue in fright. A lot of soldiers were trampled to death. Samaritan defenders let it go. Bring it back to the city. Then there were tens of thousands of Turks. Surrender with the guards of the Kangli ministry. See, the tide is over. The nobles of Samarkand also lead the crowd out of the city Kikyang. Only a small part of the defenders retreated to the inner city. Less than a day. Inner city lost. Guarding the crowd in the city. Jolly Mongol soldiers sacked the city. Tens of thousands of craftsmen and soldiers were recruited, and 200,000 ransom. The other residents were released. He also sent Yaluahai, a Khitan, to manage the city. 1220. Mongol army in Samarkand. The Haishabu grassland in the southwest is resting. Be strong and strong. When autumn is crisp. Genghis Khan. Lead the army into Mount Huluo with the 4-character tractor. The other 3 sons are led by the eldest prince Shichi. The second prince climbs the river platform. The third prince is rich and handsome. Attack Yulong Jechi. Jade Dragon Knot is Hua Lazimo old capital. The Queen Mother Tolhan lives here. The city is large. Large population. Spanning 85 and both sides. It was an economic and trade powerhouse in Central Asia at that time. Although the Jade Dragon at that time robbed 100,000 defenders, but before the Mongol army arrived, Empress Duran had already taken Mo and Mo, concubines of the Sultan. The temples inherited, flee to Kimuran, military fortress in Vazandeo province. Haremberg. Due to the fact that the Queen Mother Tolhan was too flustered when she fled, no interim manager has been appointed. So the Jade Dragon robbed the generals and the nobles to elect humor deposit for the city lord. In the autumn of 1220, he led several troops to Yulong for destruction. And surrounded. Queen Mother Horsey Tolhan flees west. He sent a pair of men to pursue. Yulong not red-orange. It's the domain that Genghis Khan gave to the branches. So I didn't want to attack several times. Vikit surrender. He sent the surname Shai to surrender. While sending tiger cavalry. Harassment in the vicinity of the city. To achieve the purpose of the attack of the 6 enemies, Yulong hijacks the defenders. I don't know why. Clear the troops. Mongol cavalry general. After the army entered the ambush circle not far from the city. Surround him. Kill thousands of enemy troops. Since then, the Jade Dragon has been the peerless king. Don't dare to act rashly. Can't hold on. Mosul and Mosul, who were on the run at this time, has become a walking dead. To eliminate fear, daily indulgence in dark wine and meat, and Queen Talham, who took refuge in Herrenberg, also besieged by the Mongol army without water. Up to 4 months, the soldiers and civilians in the fort lost their fighting spirit due to thirst. The Mongolian years are a psychological blow. Daily splashing of water outside the city. In the end, the will of the residents of the city completely collapsed. In desperation, the Empress Dowager had no choice but to surrender. Let's surrender. Never surrender. He died of thirst. Kesong surrenders. This is mine. After the Mongol army entered the castle, Pomelo the pig that killed Demon and Mordodin, and the black screen princesses, for slaves, the Empress Dowager was also crushed. Mongolia died in the hospital in 1233. Are you going to rebel? Have a drink with the princesses. The prince doesn't have to drink. Why not let the princes drink? The dead do not know thirst. Drag them out and chop them up. Under the unsuccessful pursuit of Zibi, Sultan Momo with his 2 sons escaped first to Balkh in northern Afghanistan, Nishabur fleeing to Mount Uluru. Finally, he escaped to a place called Li Haizong, the wide island of Ebes. When I heard that the Queen Mother had been arrested after the sons were killed, Mohe Morent orders worried and angry. Seriously ill. And he died of that. Before his death, he passed on his eldest son, Zailanbing. This is also the most correct thing to do before you die. Leave us block for Wang Chu. It means the Queen Mother. I will do my best to assist my brother. I'm block. I am a father who refuses to love you. Except for the blue sky. No one can be revived. Subtitles, so I'm going to use Azure positioning to make an order. Don't worry. I don't hate you at all. When preparing to lead the department in front of the villa server, Genghis Khan gave another order. The 2 were ordered to rush to the north of Lehigh, exterminate the Qingcha department that was connected with Nier Yuan, as the encirclement and suppression of Qingcha people continued to advance. Fold. You also embarked on an unprecedented expedition. They crossed the Caucasus Mountains into southern Russia, on the Galega River, defeated by 80,000 coalition of Russia and the Kipchaks. Then head east across the Volga, return via Kazakhstan. Until 1224, when he joined Genghis Khan's army, 1220 years. Sarandon, who succeeded to the throne, was ruled by a Russian judge. Quietly returned to study Jade Dragon robbery, but the ranks of generals and nobles abandoned by the Queen Mother of Torhan. According to the records, Zalandin was lowly due to his maternal status. Constance, who has always been beautiful to the Queen Mother of Torhan, secret forces exclude, and was replaced as leader by the Empress Dowager Tolhan, and made Chitty Wasner black his hair. Therefore, after the death of Mosul and Mosul, Yulongji scolded the general. The nobles were worried about Zalandin. They will be liquidated, so the conspiracy couldn't get rid of him. In the forwards block for the new sultan, the original Buckingham Castle guardian Timo, who fled to Yulong, and Mary found out about it. Tell Frank. It is illegal for Sudan to change Wangchu without permission of child. You are here to prepare for the throne. Listen, you cut off 1,000 warriors right away. When the rooster crows for the first time, secretly surrounded Zalandin's palace and guards. Will Prince Zalandin film kill General Li and all their guards? Not a single one. Yes, why yes. Brother, what's the matter? Uncle Guo and Qingxia Juhan are adjusting auspicious people. Coming to kill you. They're going to do it when the cock crows. We have to leave now. Yulong kidnapped. Then the two of them went hundreds, fleeing to Barihay in northern Afghanistan, Tarahan area. In the winter of 1220, several armies surrounded Yulong and robbed him. After persuading to surrender to no avail, Chahitai, which was attacked by the main party, is ready for war, since the Jade Dragon knot is found on the Ugu River. Sand all around. There are no stones big enough for trebuchet combat. TNT were ordered to be cut down. Mulberry soaked in river water acts as ammunition. The Mongol army also continued to drive away tens of thousands of Yuhua. Hashar, composed of the poor, rushed to the front of the city. It seems that Jia Chenghao, demolition master, after more than 10 days of hard work, Chenghao, who was reprimanded by the Jade Dragon, was filled in. The defenses were completely dismantled. All projects are ready. The most tragic engineering station in the history of the Western expedition was launched. The engineering station fought fiercely from the outset. Under the cover of the Gonglu trebuchet, the Mongol army kept taking the ladder to the city head. Soon, the city gate on the side of the Jade Dragon knot was captured. The Mongol army entered the city. Fight the defenders. Because they are not good at fighting, the soldiers and civilians defending the city are fighting to the death again. The Mongol army that entered the city was severely damaged, had to exit the city gate. Then the Mongol army switched to fire attack. For a quick solution. Trebuchet. The lighter kept throwing incendiary objects into the city. The city was on fire for a while. At the same time, the Mongol army once again launched a fierce attack on the city. The defenders of the city fought against the Mongol army, while taking water from the Amu River to put out the fire, although the Mongol offensive was fierce. However, the soldiers and civilians in the Jade Dragon tribulation Cheng desperately resisted. After days of unsuccessful toil, several Mongol princes, and we're starting to develop a new engineering strategy. They found the Jade Dragon repulsed across the Amu River. The cities on both sides face each other across the river, connected by a bridge. If you occupy this bridge, is equal to cut off the water in the city and the connection between the two sides. So he decided to give up the fire attack. Change to bridge. They withdrew 3,800 tourists from the army. I hope to take the bridge. Under the cover of Gongru's powerful firepower, the bridge cut the Jade Dragon knot in half. But soon, Jade Dragon repulses the defenders. Realize the seriousness of the problem, so to the 3,000 on the bridge. Tiger warriors launch crazy counteroffensive. People rush to the bridge like a tide. 3,000 warriors and a steady stream of defenders. Hand-to-hand combat. Although the outside Mongol army came to reinforce, but 3,000 warriors still failed to break through. All killed, the Mongol army, once again severely defeated, retreated. City defenders. The morale is high because of the victory. The Jade Dragon kidnapping battle lasted for 7 months, still unconquered. There are 2 reasons for this. First, there are many defenders in the city. To survive, the army and the people joined forces to fight to the death. The second and most important point. That is, among the 3 leading princes, the first prince, Shagatai with the second prince, flicked over successful strategies, and the two have always been back together. Compound edge. In the name of the gentleman of the great Prince Shuqi. Although both were born of Bel, but the identity of Shukai's biological father has always been questioned. According to historical records, Hus just married Genghis Khan. It was removed by Nirkairan. 9 months later, Genghis Khan just snatched the Bel sticker back. On the way back, Huil gave birth to the eldest son. No one can tell. Is it Genghis Khan who made money from tree scarcity? Genghis Khan was also torn by this. This is also Genghis Khan, very ugly. The main reason why people die. But it was the love for Bel that made him see it through. Believing that the birth of this child was a gift from God. And name it. Tree red in Mongolian rain means guest. Subsequently, Beltier gave birth to 3 more princes to Genghis Khan, Orwangziti and Taiwan. The 3rd prince Ogutai and the 4th prince are dragged down. Genghis Khan treated the 4 princes equally, because there are thousands of people around Orwangziti and Tai. So Chahitai has always looked down on it. The two often clash several times, and their relationship is correct. It also influenced the decision-making of this battle. plus Genghis Khan. The Jade Dragon Knot has been divided into several times unwilling to destroy the city. And Chaitai belongs to the storming city. Due to the different decisions of the two princes among the warriors, they have different opinions. Cause chaos. The military's heart is lax. Siege blocked. Huge casualties. Failed to seize the Jade Dragon for 7 months. After Genghis Khan learned of this, very angry, changed the order of the third Prince Ogutai army unification project. Ogutai resolves the contradiction between his brothers, quickly complete the army. Very soon, the Mongol army regained its strong combat effectiveness. Under the command of Wokwatan, captured the Jade Dragon Knight in just 7 days. The Mongol army drove the people out of the city, wanton looting of the city's wealth. Then a large number of selected craftsmen were thrown into the army, women and children as slaves. The rest were massacred. According to biography, 50,000 Mongol army, each soldier is responsible for executing 24 people. A total of 1.2 million people died under the knife. After the massacre, the Mongol army dug the west dam of the Amu Daryo River. Diversion irrigation city. That's all. This once great center of Central Asian civilization, Haraphan submold. The once prosperous capital, Ulongjishao. Drowned in a sea. End of 1220. Genghis Khan led the main force in Kangul-Kay. Kongat, Kirambu Province, Tajikistan. Anzuman. Winter in Dushanbe, Tajikistan. In the beginning of 1221, the army began to fend into Mount Uro. Just arrived in Paris, the largest city in northern Afghanistan. Even though it's folding here, he had already surrendered in pursuit of the devil and the Sultan. In the new Sultan, Zalandin fled into the pineapple. After the mountain area, many conquered cities began to respond, take orders and resist. So Genghis Khan. I don't believe at all that Barihay will actually surrender. More worried about entering the Song title. Rebellion from behind. To get rid of worries, Genghis Khan ordered the massacre of Barihay. Then Genghis Khan ordered Chor to lead 10,000 into the ride. From Barihay, continued to sweep Mount Uluo. He leads the main force, turning to Tailai Khan in northeastern Afghanistan. Tor was the youngest son of Genghis Khan. Since childhood, I have followed Genghis Khan and fought everywhere. The drag of growing up, not only did he master Genghis Khan's strategy, inherited the ruthlessness of Genghis Khan. According to the history of world conquerors, Tor for the conquered nations, on his severity, like a fiery snow blade. Rend Fang's reach. Live up to ashes. On Chess Club, he was like a bolt of lightning behind a cloud. Turn the head into scorched earth. Leave no trace of behavior. Do not delay for a moment. And he leads the elite of the army. Genghis Khan drained men from his sons. The gourmet person picks one person to follow the drag. They are such military. If the waves of war make a sound, and their chests burned, no chain can tie their wayward hands. Even if their enemy is the sea, they will also bury it in the depths of the black earth. This shows that Tor and his army, it's all cold blood and sweat. Everywhere I go. From Maru to Nishaper, I'll step on the territory, when Tor sweeps Mount Uluo. After Jujo, prepare to turn to Genghis Khan. When rendezvous with the main force. Genghis Khan, but in the tower, the mountains have encountered hard bones. Naslipev Castle. Castle Nasri. Located at high altitude, large engineering equipment is difficult to operate. In addition, the castle has both the bravery of the defenders, difficult to capture for a while. Genghis Khan once betrayed the messenger to recruit and surrender, but was rejected. Just when the long attack failed and there was no countermeasure, Genghis Khan learned it again. Message from Zalandin's father in Gojini. So they send out a large number of non-commissioned officers. Teacher Hu. Lead 30,000 cavalry north vanguard. Search for songs and names first, then leave some troops to continue the attack. It was Black Tiger Fort. I was in the big army after the division level protection. Charman Zalanbin. Serve as a large force. Gilgiven, present-day Afghanistan. Countywide coal and events. Pre-summing. It took a month of siege to break the city. Save after the city. The army continues to advance, Crossing Shinduku Stone Mountain, Fanyan Gems arriving in Bamyang, Afghanistan. Fierce resistance from local residents. The Battle of Playing Treasure was a tragic one. The experience of both sides is flying. Second grandson of Genghis Khan. Muwa, the eldest son of Cheitai, is dry. Unfortunately, many swords were killed in the battle. Muatagai is both wise and brave. Be good at your company. He is Genghis Khan's most optimistic and beloved grandson. When Logan was shot dead, Genghis Khan was in a hurry. To avenge the second grandson, he attacked day and night with all his army. Fanyan Boken goes up and down. Mountains of corpses. Red-eyed Mongol army. Take a teacher as a ladder. Han is a brave worker who is not afraid of death. The process eventually broke down. After Gong Xianfan extended the warranty, Genghis Khan ordered, kill all the people and animals in the city. Leave no survivors. And completely raze the city to the ground. Don't leave a whole brick. To pay homage to his king's grandson, Mulakan, he also gave the city ruins. Named Mauve Paris. Means to change to, many years later, when passers-by passed by. Once prosperous Fan Yanbao turned into a desert. I can't see the original outline. Hungry jackals haunt here. The howl of the beast echoes in the sky. Over time, it is also known as the City of Curses, Crying City. By this time, Fort Norsla had been under attack for nearly 6 months. Still not taken, Genghis Khan returns to Tarahan and ordered Toreku to accelerate his return to the division. After Genghis Khan arrived, ordered carpenters to be built outside Ostleiherberg. Soil shortage. Forcefully launched an earth wall the same height as the city, the Mongolian army erected a strong brine machine on the earth wall. Trebuchet lighter. Bombing into the city. The defenders masked the enemy, attempt to break through, but only a small number of breakouts were successful, most mole. When Tolob arrived, after 7 months of grueling fighting at Fort Les Havres, has been captured. Under 1221, Cheitai Ogutai leads Fu to join forces with the main army. The tree was destroyed by the Jade Dragon Knot. Extremely dissatisfied with two younger brothers, so he stayed in his fief, and for the army, the Mongol army rectified itself in the Tarahan Mountains. Getting ready to start. Genghis Khan is violent again. Zailan soldiers 80,000 mercenaries in Gogoman and in Baru Bay, north of Kabul, Afghanistan. Big defeat poems exhale. 30,000 Mongol cavalry were wiped out. Only a few hundred of them appear. So the army was ordered to travel day and night. Shah Xiangyi is shrewd. Battle of Zalandin. Battle of Tuan. Jalandin wins by many. Less. But this battle is of great significance. Not just his first world-famous solo debut. It also made Genghis Khan the worst defeat since the Western expedition, served by Zalandin's victory. Large-scale rebellions broke out in the conquered regions, especially in the wild. Big cities like Maru are the most intense. Genghis Khan divided his troops and quickly judged. While the army continues to advance, when the army marched to Baru Bay, Genghis Khan, the reason why the corpse does not break through the defeat. The audience conducted an analysis. The reason for the sudden defeat of the poetry collection is that he didn't choose the powerful stereotype. And in the case of attached terrain, they are arranged in the canyon, and the ground is uneven. The horse cannot run, cavalry combat power cannot be displayed. In a dense prison, they can only be torches for the enemy army. No wonder the casualties are not serious. Although Genghis Khan refused to be angry with the poetry collection, but because to have a deep relationship, so there was no punishment. I would like to say that I have suffered this defeat today. Take it as a precept. Then he led the army to kill Gojman. When Genghis Khan's army reached Gagliming, Zalandin has already led his troops to withdraw in the direction of poetry and poetry. Genghis Khan also learned that after the victory at Baru Bay, Zalandin's army had an internal charge. His left and right hands, Aminiri and Agrehi, to generals, when distributing the Mongolian warhorse in exchange for the role. There was a dispute. Amin Mili also wounded Aide Block. But yeah, he's Zalandin's cousin. At night, Weishazehua. Agra Black left in a fit of rage. Travel to Peshawar. Genghis Khan. In the appointment of Paraffin, Tooth Wax Ta Red supervision after cutting Jilin, keep chasing Zalandin. And fought Zalandin on the banks of the deep river. In the war, Ralph was killed. Zalandin is surrounded. As the Mongol army gradually reduced the encirclement, Sarandin was unusually brave, fighting hard under siege. In the end, Yinghua was defeated, prancing horse into the river. Asked for water. Zalandin's bravery shocked Genghis Khan. Generate the feeling of 7 heroes. So didn't shoot him, did not continue to pursue, but looking at his distant back. See again. A father has such a son. You have a son? Should have given birth to Zalandin. A hero. I'm going to kill a badly wounded hero, who has the ability to capture him on the battlefield, who is the real man, although Zalandin fled to the south of Baikar House. One side collects the remnants. On the one hand, he asked the Delhi Sultanate to send troops for support, but he couldn't change the pattern. The event of destruction. After that, Genghis Khan went on to conquer the rest of the land, and sent the ministries to use more brutal means. Suppression of rebel areas. Since 1223, Genghis Khan has occupied Afghanistan, the vast Central Asian region, including Iraq. Dominion is unchallenged. In the autumn of 1223, the Mongols were honored to cross the Amu Darya in Barihay. Go north to Huala City. Winter 1223 to Samarkwechu. Spring of 1224, Genghis Khan. Hulalada on the Hill River, make fashion for the sons and meritorious ministers. February 1225, Genghis Khan returns to the Mongolian grasslands. Proto-paraffin submembranes, crossed by eldest son tree red-tipped tube. Setting up dams in cities and occupied areas, all important towns, the highest official in charge of military and political power. Hold the final judgment, the setting of Daru flower market, after the Mongol Empire conquered Central Asia. Start exercising sovereignty. Exercise rule. Its vast land is divided into the territory of the Mongol Empire. Genghis Khan sacrificed for the first time. The result is the destruction of the wax submembrane. Conquered the entire river region. For the people of all ethnic groups in Central Asia, lives and property caused tremendous damage. Destroyed a large number of water conservancy facilities that maintain regional production. It is understood that the wax submembrane. We had the best irrigation technology of our time. The rich water resources of the Amu Darya River. It provides them with the convenience of irrigation. Let the flower wax submembrane become the solution production height. Developed region. Archaeological findings. The irrigation system of the wax film crisscrossing all over the country. Some are tens or even hundreds of kilometers long. Construction of irrigation projects is the economic water of various regions in the agricultural era, an important sign of flat. And Genghis Khan died, but destroyed its developed water system, especially in Afghanistan. The most destroyed leads to desertification in the region, still unable to recover. But the Western expedition also opened up the passage between Asia and Europe in jade. Remove the barrier between East and West. Promote the exchange of material and economic civilizations between the East and the West. It has played a significant role in the development of world history. The final victory of the Western expedition also proved that Genghis Khan. The correctness of this strategic choice, and the rich rewards of this expedition. It also laid the foundation for the next two Western expeditions. I hope all netizens enjoy our videos. Thank you very much. 3 with 1 arrow. See you next time.